So today class, we are the group 5 reporter number 7. So the topic that we're gonna tackle today are the ICT and assessment in learning. So before going deeper, let us know first what is ICT and assessment. So what is ICT? So ICT is an acronym that stands for Information and Communication Technology or Technologies. Is the infrastructure and components that enable modern computing. So ICT help us gather information easily, especially as educators. ICT provide easy access and computing students' grades. You can just easily put the scores and there are already a rubrics. So ICT help us in doing an assessment. You don't need to check it one by one. It will give you the score and teachers can easily give feedback for their students. So ICT includes everything from hardware like computers, smartphones, and servers to software applications, operating systems, and networking components such as routers and firewalls. So ICT is essential for enabling data processing, communication, and overall connectivity. And it drives innovation and economic growth by providing access to vast resources and enhancing productivity across various sectors. So next, what is assessment? So assessment is the systematic collection, review, and use of information about educational programs undertaken for the purpose of improving students' learning and development. So assessment also insights gains are used to adjust teaching methods, modify curriculum, and provide targeted support with the ultimate goal of fostering academic performance. So critical thinking skills and self-awareness. In the Philippine Central Visayas, assessment practices are aligned with national standards to ensure students receive a quality education. So next, we are now going to tackle the main topic, the ICT and assessment in learning. So, ICT is revolutionizing assessment in learning by both enhancing traditional methods and enabling new approaches that better evaluate competences. So, ICT tools streamline traditional assessments, improving efficiency, accessibility, and data analysis, while also facilitating innovative assessments like simulations, multimedia projects, and collaborative tasks that mirror real-world challenges. These advancements enable more authentic and engaging evaluations, foster teamwork and communication skills. It will provide opportunities for ongoing feedback and personalized learning, ultimately improving the quality of education and preparing students for the demands of 21st century workforce, including in the Philippines.
So there are four types of assessment, which is the formative assessment, the summative assessment, the diagnostic assessment, and the authentic assessment. So now I'm going to discuss the first type of assessment, which is the formative assessment. So when we say formative assessment, it is type of assessment that provides feedback and information during the learning process. So it helps both the teachers and the students know how learning is going while it is still happening. So the main goal of formative assessment is to improve teaching and learning by identifying the strength, the weaknesses, and the areas that need more practice or supports. So teachers are usually use formative assessment to adjust their lessons, and also the students use it to understand what they need to improve on before the final evaluation. So there are examples of formative assessment like the quizzes or short tests during the lessons, asking questions during the class discussions, and also the self or peer assessment. So there are types of formative assessment also, which is the observation, the questioning, the quizzes, the exit tickets, the peer assessment, and the self-assessment. So when we say observation, teachers observe students while they work or participate in class to see how will they understand the lesson. Example is watching the students during group discussions to check if they can apply a new concept. The next is we have questioning. So when we say questioning, the teacher asks questions during or after a lesson to check students understand and clarify any confusion. The next is the quizzes. When we say quizzes, it is a short test used to measure how much students have learned about the topic. And next is the exit tickets. So when we say exit tickets, the students answer a quick question or summarize what they learned before leaving the class. And next is the peer assessment. So when we say peer assessment, it is the students evaluate each works using the given criteria to give feedback and learn from one another. And last, we have the self-assessment. So when we say self-assessment, it is the time when the students reflect on their own learning, identify strength, and find the areas to improve. That's all.
So let's proceed to the second type of assessment, which is summative assessment. So summative assessment takes place of the learning has been completed and provides information and feedback that sums up the teaching and learning process. In summative assessment is always graded and recorded and also to sum up the teaching and learning process. Example of summative assessment is prelim, midterm, final exam, periodical exam, project, and portfolio. In summative assessment is measures of skills gained at the end of course and also evaluation after learning, focus on results, and required for course completion and assigning of ranks and grades. The main goal or the purpose of the summative assessment is to evaluate student learning at the end of instructional unit. To evaluate kung nabay nakatunan ang students at the end of period or na-meet ba nila ang learning goals. The main purpose of summative assessment is to evaluate learning outcomes and give grades or feedback that reflect a student's overall performance. A summative assessment is a type of evaluation used to measure what students have learned at the end of a lesson, unit, term, or course.
Good day everyone! Let us now proceed to the third type of assessment, which is the diagnostic assessment. What is diagnostic assessment? Diagnostic assessment can help teachers identify the students' current knowledge of a subject, their skills and capabilities, and any misconception they may have before instructions begins. So, simply put, diagnostic assessment is a type of assessment that teachers use before teaching lessons. So its main purpose is to find out what students already know, what skills they have, and what areas they still need help with. It's like a checkup before starting the actual lessons. Teachers use it to check to see what students already understand, what they misunderstood, what topics they find easy or difficult. This information helps the teachers decide how to teach, what to teach, and what to focus on first. I think we already know this type since pag elementary, high school, and even in college, dihatag na sa mga teachers to test during the first week of the class. The purpose wasn't to grade us, but to understand our strength and weaknesses. Diagnostic assessment can help the teachers to identify the student's strength, identify their weaknesses, correct misconception early, adjust teaching strategies, provide the right materials, and create activities that match the student's needs. Because of this, lessons become more targeted and effective. Instead of teaching blindly, teachers know exactly what students need.
Topic today is authentic assessment. Authentic assessment describes the multiple forms of assessment that reflect student learning, achievement, motivation, and attitudes on instructional relevant classroom activities. So when we say authentic assessment, is that the students apply what they have learned in real life or in a practical situations. So wala ni nag-base about sa written test o sa memorization but on actual performance tasks that show how they can use the learning in real life. So for example ani so pananglitan no sa klase sa TLE. So ang mga students gituduan unsaon pagluto sa mga simple nga mga putay. So ang mga putay nila nga ilang himuon kay dili nila memorize which means kanang sila gud mismo ang muluto sa ilang kugalingon. Sila gud ang mo buhat. So sa ina nga pamaagi kanang makita sang teacher kung giunsa nila pag-apply ang ilang nahibal-an ngadto sa tinuod nga mga sitwasyon. So mao na siya ang gitawag nato nga authentic assessment which means sila gud mismo ang mubuhat sa ina nga buhaton. Actual gud na siya nga pagbuhat.
Good day everyone. So today I am going to tackle about the assessment tool. So the image display a curated list of popular educational technology tools designed for formative assessment in the classroom. So kaning mga digital platforms such as Kahoot, Quizzes, Flipgrid, Socrative, and Softbox allows teachers para ma-monitor ang students' understanding during sa learning process rather than just at the end. So they facilitate interactive activities like live quizzes, polls, and video discussions. So kani often providing immediate feedback to both educators and students. So this real-time data makatabang sa mga teachers para ma-identify ang knowledge gaps instantly and to adjust their instructional strategies para mas madali or to better meet students' needs. So the tools streamline assessments, can increase engagement and provide actionable insights into students' progress. So we have here the Flickers. So Flickers is a simple educational tools that allows teachers to collect real-time formative assessment data. So ang kaninga system kay nag-work siya by having students use unique paper cards while ang teacher nag-scan sa room with a single mobile device. So, crucially, it eliminates the need for individual students devices. Dili na siya nagkuha na siya nga dili na need ang katong mga devices sa each student, making it immediate data collection accessible in any classroom environment. So, what is it? So, Flickers is a classroom pooling app nga nag-allow sa teachers para mapadali ang pag-collect sa students' responses using usa lang ka mobile device. So it works by scanning unique paper cards held up by students to register their answers. So ang kaning nga platform is available siya sa iOS and Android devices as well as via a web interface. So, teachers also can create single questions or select sets from their libraries. So, a teacher can collect student responses instantly during class by using only their mobile devices to scan unique printable QR coded cards that students hold up. So, these low-tech solutions ensure that every student can participate in formative assessment without needing individual digital devices. So, ang pangutana, how can I teach with this tool? So, using the Flickers tool as a formative assessment strategy, so ang teachers can use well-thought-out questions with Flickers for activities like by asking insightful questions or challenging students to create their own review questions. So kaning nga approach is nagfacilitates para quick reviews of information or text. So effectively gathering immediate feedback on students' understanding. So next is ZipGrade. So ZipGrade, it is an application that converts a phone or tablet into an optical grading machine similar to a Scantron. So ang kani siya nag-work ni siya by kanang scanning gani free to download answer sheets using the device's camera. So ang kani siya nag-allow sa ni siya sa teachers to provide instant feedback sa mga estudyante by grading quizzes and formative assessment immediately after nila mahuman.
So, good day. So, from now on, I'm going to tackle all about the tools and evaluating appropriate assessment tools. So, first is checklist. Is the less complex form of scoring that examines the presence or absence of specific elements in the product of a performance. All elements are generally weighted the same, and the gradation and quality. So, ang checklist is the simplest type of scoring tool. It used to check whether certain required elements in a task or performance are present or absent. So, ug mas angay pud ni siya ang checklist gamiton kung sa mga yano-yano nga kaning buluhaton gani para para sa atong mga kinahanglanon. So, number 2 is rating skills. So, incorporates quality to the elements in the process or product, which can be numeric or descriptive. Unlike checklists, rating skills allow for attaching quality to elements in the process. So, ang rating scale is measure the degree or level of performance of a student. So, it shows how well the task was done, not just if it was done. So, dili ni siya parehas sa checklist nga yes or no ra. So, diri isa kaning rating scale makita gyud kung unsa ka maayo ang pagkuan sa bata performance gani niya. So, mao na siya ang rating scale. So, number 3 is rubrics. So, is a chart or matrix which includes indicators that describe different levels of achievement for the major components or elements of a performance. So, mao ni siya ang rubric, kay mao ni siya ang detailed na guide sa pag-score sa nga para makita sa criteria ug level sa performance sa matag criteria. So, it clearly explains what is expected from the students. So, lastly, kay peer and self-assessment helps students reflect on their learning throughout the course of an academic term or year. It used for reflection and documentation of the learner's growth. So, ang peer assessment kay mao ni siya ang mo help students reflect on their own learning. So, throughout the course of the term or school year. So, mao ni siya ang peer and self-assessment kay mao ni siya kang pinaagi nga makatanaw sila sa ilang progress kaning ug unsa ilang nasabtan, nakatunan, or ug asa sila pa dapat mo improve sa ilahang sa ilahang grade. And that's all for my part. Thank you.